What's up, everybody? In this video we're going to be going over my recommended books for graduates, and I'm going to be discussing both high school and college graduates. But before we get to that, I wanted to let everybody know that I'm going to be putting the links for these books in the description to this video, and they're going to be affiliate links so that you can help me out if you choose to buy these books. And also I have a link tree in there where you can help me out, other links to help me out, including a donation link to buy me a coffee. So let's get right into it. First up, I'm going to be talking about books for high school graduates, and they're going to be primarily focused on helping them learn, helping them use their brain. And I know a lot of people have been buying Dr. Seuss books, All the Places You'll Go, and I think that might be just because people aren't used to reading books and don't know what books to buy new graduates. But this will help you out for high school graduates, and then I'm going to go over college graduates. So the first book that I wanted to recommend was Limitless by Jim Kwik. And Limitless by Jim Kwik is a book on basically how to use your brain, how to reduce distractions, increase your motivation, and how your brain works, how to optimize your brain through food. And I'm going to review that book on this channel. I just haven't reviewed it, but it's really that book that made me think of this idea to talk about books to recommend to graduates. And that's just a general book on how to learn better and use your brain better. The next book I'm going to recommend is solely about learning. That's Ultra Learning by Scott Young, and that's how to learn more efficiently, how to learn quicker. That's just like a general learning book that I think is really good as well. Along the same lines is a book, Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Fower. But that book is more focused on memorization because he enters memorization championships. And it's mentioned in Limitless, and it reminded me of that book because I've read that book as well. I have not reviewed that book on here, but I would recommend that for graduates, high school graduates, so that they can use it in college, since a lot of college is just memorizing a bunch of stuff. The next book that I would recommend is The Art of Learning by Joshua Waitskin. Tim Ferriss talks about Joshua Waitskin a lot, and Joshua Waitskin became an expert in many different fields, and you can learn a lot of his methods and deep focus in there. And another book that I would recommend is Deep Work. I have not reviewed that on here, but it's a really good book about focusing, because a lot of not being able to learn is not focusing. And that's mentioned in Limitless too, so you don't really have to get Deep Work if you get Limitless. But if you're a teenager that have trouble focusing, then I would get them that book. Okay, let's move on to college grads. And a couple of these books I'm going to recommend could apply to college or high school, and I'll go over those first. So I would recommend Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. And you can get this for your college grad or high school grad. It's really to help them formulate a blueprint for success in their life. It's not all about career and achievement. It's about talking to yourself correctly. And Awaken the Giant Within helps you do that. So I really recommend that book for anybody as a blueprint for their life. Along those same lines is What Should I Do With My Life? If your college grad or high school grad has trouble finding purpose, then they can see that they're not alone, and this book will show them that. And especially if they get into the corporate world, I think it's easy to lose purpose and get lost in achievement, and that book will show them other people that have had this same search and the issues they might encounter when they go on a separate journey. Another book I'd recommend is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. This will teach your college grad how to be tough and not be a victim, because in today's society it's easy to identify as a victim, but being a victim is going to keep you a victim unless you figure out a way to pull yourself out. And if you need to understand somebody that's pulled themselves out, it's David Goggins. So get that book if you want them to be resilient. And I don't like these other resilient books with resiliency in the title. I like people that have actually done it, and David Goggins has done it. Another good book for a college grad is Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It. And I've reviewed that book on this channel. And that's really about getting in the habit of telling yourself that you love yourself. It seems like an easy idea, but it's not. This is also a short book and an emotional book. And it'll also show your college grad that you're thinking of them and that you love them and that you want them to love themselves. Another book I recommend is Choose Yourself by James Altucher. And that book is about an alternative path if you don't want to go into corporate America, or if you want your college grad to think of other options. And then Choose Yourself is a good book because it teaches you to not be invested in solely selling your time for money. Instead, you should invest in yourself and not try to sell as much of your time as possible to a corporation. You should invest in yourself, because investing in yourself will reap the biggest rewards. And the book just goes over various ways that you can do that. And I like James Altucher a lot. The last book I will discuss here is I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. This book is about financial success and the basics of financial success that people don't teach their kids. And if you're not good at finances yourself and you can't teach your kids about finances, then Ramit Sethi will help them do that. Will help them set up the right bank, and then all the flows into savings, finances. And this book is pretty thorough, but it's also basic. It's very rigid. Like Ramit Sethi is extremely rigid. They don't have to follow everything in this book to a T, but it will set them up for success. And once they learn more from this book, then they can explore it on themselves. Like the Ramit Sethi book to me is the beginning of a journey. And I would recommend the Tony Robbins book as well, Money Master the Game, for finances. But Tony Robbins doesn't necessarily talk about the nuances of a bank account, like every single step, every single piece of your financial life, or Ramit Sethi does. But as far as investments, the Money Master the Game book is very good. But those are my book recommendations for graduates. I hope it's really helpful. If it is, leave a like. Even if it's not, leave me a like. I would like to congratulate you and the graduate that you are giving these books to. Hopefully this will help them out and succeed in life. Thanks for watching.